Blessings, everyone, and good morning. Okay, I'm just going to just dive right into this. Okay, so this is about my vision, right? This is the first vision that I received. This vision is, okay, so we got the city, right? That is, there's a dome over it, and then we have the river, and then we have the cable cord, okay? That's the vision that I received from Jesus when I was 12 years old. Okay. Now, I never understood the dome. I just didn't understand what was so special about this one city, I guess. Like, why would it have a dome over it? Like, really? And I didn't even, I would tell you the vision, with the dome, the city on fire, but, never really understanding the dome. I think I even left it out a few times thinking it was irrelevant, but obviously it's very, very important. And it's because of Ezekiel. And when I first, I remember back in 2013, I went up in prayer and I said, Jesus, where do I start within Scripture? I have no idea, because I felt that I was so late in the game here that I had no idea. And that's when, like, I prayed day and night for days, all day and night. And I got up one morning and I went downstairs, and that's when I heard the voice behind my ear say, Ezekiel, Ezekiel, Ezekiel. And my foot didn't even hit the ground, and I was upstairs, and I cracked that bolt. Oh, I mean, yeah, there's where I started. Ezekiel. So now we're back at Ezekiel again. So I'm going to just go with this and say that this is not a coincidence, and that I'm going to be reading Ezekiel again, but with a different and deeper understanding of what it is that I'm reading. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just show you what I mean by the dome, because now it's making sense. When I'm reading Ezekiel, it's making sense, and now I understand it. So here we have Ezekiel 21. When those went, these went, and when those stood, these stood, and when they're lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up over and against them, for the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. And the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creature was as the color of the terrible crystal stretched forth over their heads above. And under the firmament were their wings straight, the one toward the other. Every one had two, which covered on this side, and one had two, which covered on that side, their bodies. And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings, like the noise of a great waters, as the voice of the Almighty, the voice of speech, as the noise of a host and a host. When they stood, they let down their wings. And there was a voice from the firmament that over their heads, when they stood and had let down their wings. And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of sapphire stone, and upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man above upon it. So now I understand when I say the dome. It was as if though there was a dome over the city. Okay, so I'm just going to continue here. And just, this is coming from the vision that Jesus showed me, and what I heard in my ear 3 times was Ezekiel. So I think it's really important that I think Ezekiel 1 and chapter 12 should be looked into. Okay, so here we have the apple. We all know that this is the garden, right? First thing you think of is the garden. Well, the first thing I thought of here was the color green. And right away, Cain. Okay, now I've explained this before, that I truly believe that Eve was overshadowed by Satan, as Mary was overshadowed by the Holy Spirit. The reason why I say Eve was overshadowed by Satan is because God only puts enmity between the serpent seed and the female after the act, after it had already taken place. Eve was the only one not protected. Now, when I look at this, okay, when I look at Genesis and I go through Genesis 4 and I understand a little bit more about Cain, is no more than what's happening right here, right now. Because you see, Cain needed to have a mark on him, a seal on him, a mark on him, okay, to identify him, because anybody that saw him would not recognize him for being Cain, and they would shoot immediately because they don't know what it is that they're looking at. So this is Cain. What are we dealing with now? Right? The mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is going to be put upon God's people. And not on Cain's lineage. Oh, Cain's seed here. You see what I'm saying? There's similarities here, okay? So Cain needs a mark to be put on him so that nobody knows, so that people could recognize him, okay? No more than what's happening here today. The green thing that is spoke about in the Bible is now being translated and changed over to a plant. And I'm going to tell you, that wasn't a plant that attacked me that night. Those nights. It wasn't a plant, but it was green. And I didn't know what to call it back then, and I called it the green thing. I kept saying the green thing, the green arm, green thing, green claw thing, not the green plant. Now, this green thing that attacked me in my early 20s, it came from above my head and it came down. And as it was coming down and I realized the energy that I was feeling, what I was starting to feel, this is what he wanted, and I stopped it and I just grabbed it by its arm, this green, it looked bruised, it was a dark green, and it was a claw, and I was just holding it away from me as best I could. And then somebody comes in and just banishes them, just like it didn't even exist. I'm holding something that is not there. That's how fast it was, like bang. And then immediately following that, there was a gray, a Hollywood gray. If you want to call it. And it was like an energy coming from my belly button. It was being pulled. And that's when he comes in again and whew, takes him right out. Like it didn't even happen. And that attack, I cried and I was in depression for so long because I just didn't know what happened. That was a testimony I couldn't finish because I knew that it wasn't me that finished the battle. I knew I didn't have the energy nor did I have the strength to fight against this. So I didn't understand who that was or what had happened at the end until I went back and I started to share my first testimony. That's when I knew that it was Jesus who came in and he banished them in the midst of my battle. And now I was able to finish my testimony. My question was, why was it that Jesus was always there when these things were there, these green things, you know? And now I know, you see, because these are all questions of my youth that now I'm receiving the answers. And it's very clear to me that I believe that this is Cain's seed. And that's why Jesus is so prominent and he's in the midst of that battle. And we'll finish it for you. Because I didn't have the strength to do that. Did I call on him that night? No. He was there. He was there. I didn't know who it was. So I didn't have this overwhelming emotion and light and water and, you know, I didn't have any of that. No. It wasn't like within that kind of glory. It was not, you know, this was true battle. This was a true fight. And this is why I say that I don't give in and I don't give up. So I believe that this truly is Cain's seed. Okay, that's my take on that one. This again is just the artwork. I'm trying to just, you know, maintain the underworld, the kingdoms of the underworld. And this again is the Masons with the square and the compass and that sort of thing. I'm just going to see, we have the triangle, okay, it's all here, right? It's just one of the kingdoms of the underworld. Here's the bridge. It's just a better look at the bridge. Again, this is just another, this is the Renaissance 7 buildings over here. And this is the middle of the city. And then here we have, like I say, the corner, the Masons, all over this place. Here we have the half flag. I guess I mean, come on, death, right? All along here is death. But here's the shell that this was made out of pure marble. But here, this is all made out of a bicycle link. Again, the Renaissance building, which is huge to look into that, the true meaning of it. Okay, so here we have the missing corner. Again, I mean, it's loud and clear if you know and you have the eyes to see. You can, without words, right? Okay, this was given a gift. This is from Lublin, Lublin, Poland. Okay, this is their, I guess, their mascot, their flag. But there's a little something in the back here. I just wanted to, I'm just going to point it out. But I just noticed the way he's holding this camera. Is it like a camera? Is it a badge? Is it, it's just, it doesn't make sense the way he's holding it, but I don't know. Maybe that's just the way the camera is. I don't know. It's interesting anyway. Okay. Lublin, Lublin, Poland, Canada, Twin Cities, two different cities. It also applies to two different cities, two different countries. Okay, yeah, Twin City. But there was something I found that was really funny. Really, I had to laugh at this. Look what they did here for Canada. They they threw in a K, which is the 11th number in the alphabet. Kanda. Windsor, Canada. This, it was, from what I understand, it was the the birds were like the Canadian geese, where they go into a V shape. It's a phenomena. It's like the energy, it's just the way it is. They just go into a V shape when they're flying. Well, this here is to say that it's broken up, because now, because of the interference and the static, these birds are not able to fly in that V shape, that they're scattered. They're all over the place when they fly. They don't gather into the V anymore. It's almost like a prediction. These are flying men. I couldn't tell you. Flying men. Here we go here. Dorset, England, Franklin, okay. Let's give you an idea. And I noticed this thing over on the top here. Look at this. This looks like a little demon, huh? Ah, there's his face. Look at that. Little demon. Wouldn't be surprised. Again, that's Detroit, the Renaissance building. Okay, these are the shots that I took. Again, when I see purple, it's like a gathering of the underworld. All the kings come together, and it's the purple, the color purple. The Renaissance building's always done in pink and purple, blues, but yeah. Sir, there's our obelisk. And now we've got about 3 or 4 of these things along the river. But here's where it gets really interesting also. This is a gift that we received from, Windsor received, I believe it's from Switzerland. Maybe not, but yeah, Switzerland. And it was a city outside of Switzerland, I believe, where they work with this kind of stone, with different colors of stone. Now that you know how the Masons are perfectionists, right? And I was mentioning this earlier, and I had given a verse concerning this, where I believe this is all coming together with the underworld, the Masons. And here it said cave, and I'm thinking cave. Oh boy, here we go, So I I went around to the other side of this here, where I got this here. I just, come on. Why is it not? That's interesting. Anyway, just another glitch. So here's the name. Okay, it says it Julia Marimi, Marmi, Civildale, and then it goes on. So I looked this up, and this is what I found. Again, my pronunciation is really bad. We all know that. So Petra Piacentia. And again, this is about the stone. It's all about the stone, right? The color, technique here. Okay. So here it says a noble material, right? Pistinia stone is the construction and facing stone par excellence in the architectural of Friuli, where architectural findings bear witness to the use of this stone as early as the Roman times in the 16th century. The stone was also used by a monumental works by Palladio. Today, Piano Pristina as a construction material appreciated and used around the world. Now, you know that I did a little thing on the caves with Mary Magdalene and Muhammad, and it was all about the caves, and the caves were death. It was all about death, and this is where they're getting this stone. And then this is when I read Job 28, 2 and 3. Iron is taken out of the earth, and brass is molded out of stone. He setteth an end to the darkness, and searcheth out all perfection, the stones of darkness and the shadows of death. Okay, so here, this is obviously, you know, a train part of, and a front of the train. And what I found was, and you know me in numbers, I tell you all the time, I just feel physically sick when it comes to numbers, and I still feel that way, but this is a message. This is something that I came across through my studying of all of this, and we have 5588. 55, of course, we know that 10, if you just break it down to what it is, it's 1 0, just 1 0. So if you've got 10, 10, 10, 10, you've got 1 0, 1 0, 1 0, okay? So here we have 10, and it's all over the board, and the Masons use 10 quite a bit also. 88 I found was, again, it was Heil Hitler. It was a hidden code, okay? Now again, the hidden code, the wheel in the midst of another wheel, okay? So a wheel within a wheel, circle within a circle. It's what's called a code, right? It's hidden. So 88, Heil Hitler. Now again, you think about the train, I mean, they couldn't have done anything without the train. I mean, they couldn't have done what they did without the train, okay? And that's why it struck me when I went over and I was looking for something else concerning this man, Robin's Hood. And what I found, it just shocked me. I was like, wait a minute, wow, I was not expecting this. I was in shock when I was hearing him speaking and saying and repeating over and over 88, 8.8, 88. It was nothing but Heil Hitler right through that whole video. And all I could do was shake my head. I didn't go looking for it. I was looking for something else, which I found. But I'm just going to have you hear what I heard after I found out about this 88 and the hidden code. And I'm looking at this as being the wheel within the wheel. I'm looking at this, the circle within the circle, the spirit.
Just for you, Rob. We have a red Hyundai or something, whatever the frick. The Sonata. It's Sonata what I was looking to get. But, alright, fine, whatever. Put me in a little red vehicle. So anyway, taking the pulse of YouTube agents and what August 11th is turning out to be. Alright, I get it. I understand. I'm hearing it. Hearing it loud and clear. Remember, 8.8 magnitude.
Okay, he says hi Hitler, and he talks about a magnitude of disaster right along with Hitler and the Holocaust.
Just like, and on the 88th day from the 70th full year anniversary of Israel becoming a nation again, you have, so 7 days before that, 7 days before, was it 7? Oh, it was at least 1 day before.
There's your 8.
Prior to the 4.6 earthquake that happened in Israel on May 14th, it was 4.6 earthquake that shook Al-Aqsa Mosque. All right, it shook it. It was a precursor, right? It was a get ready. And so it seems like on August 10th, which is midnight, into 11th, it just seems like on August 11th, because it's 88 days from the first earthquake that shook it happened in Jerusalem, but it shook Al-Aqsa Mosque. They had to make sure that they said that it shook Al-Aqsa Mosque. So when you have 88 days later, an 8.8 earthquake that destroys Al-Aqsa Mosque.
Okay, you get the idea, right? So then we also know what happened with Brother Nolan. Okay, so Brother Nolan is going through something prior to when he listens to this man for the first time, that day, and it's what he says about Judas. Judas took the money. He repeats this 11 times, 10, 11 times. 10 is very important also. Like I said, the 1, 0. I saw the spirit working there, okay? Within the wheel, the spirit within, okay? Inside that wheel. It was very important to hear all of Brother Nolan's testimony concerning the spirit within the wheel. But I want to bring you here also.
And the things that people believe. Hey, by the way, I'm a 33-degree Mason. I just want to let everybody know that. When I tell you these thoughts are consistently running, it's true. Thoughts constantly run into my head. And I know that there's both sides all the time. There's both sides all the time. And when Satan throws his thoughts, It's like it goes up, and then it waits, and then the angels, look, they're angels, right? Angels are ministering spirits. Whether it's ministering lies, ministering truth, angels are ministering spirits. So, I talk to angels, right? I talk to angels. I know how do you think I know what's going on with the world? How do you think I know the secrets of the society? Well, it's because when they are thinking, when the secret society is talking and thinking, they have ministering spirits also injecting thoughts into their head. Lies, truth. Lies, truth. Your guilty conscience blocks the truth injections because you tried to suppress it. When they're talking about their secrets in their society amongst themselves, and whether they're thinking about it or talking about it, having meetings about it, the same ministering spirits that are ministering to them, well, they hang out, you know. They hang out, they communicate with the same ministering spirits that I have. So when you go up into your world, you know, and there's just legions of them, you know, they talk too. The angels talk to each other. They communicate back and forth telepathically. And that's how I know what's going on in Steve's brain, because the same spirits, they relate a message to me.
Okay, so he's explaining it to you right there. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of beryl, and they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. When they went upon their four sides, and all they turned not when they went. And for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them four. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. Whithersoever the Spirit was to go, they went. Thither their spirit to go, and the wheels were lifted up over against them, for the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. Amen. Wow. Before I go here, look at this. The 3 marks there. Yeah. Crazy stuff. Come on. I don't work this stupid thing. Okay. There you go. So you have the Nazis. Okay, you got the train. It's very symbolic. You've got the 10, 11. You've got the 88. You have this, you know, the Knight Templars, Nazis, Switzerland. Okay, then this here, I forget what this is, but again, this is related to the Nazis. Yeah. Tridents. the underworld, the secret society. You know, and then you've got the shells here, empty shells. It's ridiculous. Trying to. God bless you, everyone. Talk soon.